Yes! Hello today. Look, we've got another Futur, the android Menace, aimed to Zenkai Awaken Gohan. So we've got ourselves a lovely new event that's going to give us 1,000 Chrono Crystals right before our anniversary, basically. So this is very nice. So if you are playing this game, which if you're watching this video, you probably are. Otherwise, I have no idea why you come here, but welcome anyways. My name is Phil G. I am your father, and if I'm not your father, I will make you my father. Wait, no. I will make me your father. Or are you my father? I'm not sure anymore. Doesn't matter. The point is, we're going to go over the best ways to Zenkai Awaken this Gohan. It's pretty simple. All you got to really know is this thing right here that is locked is because I've already done it. It is a once per day event that will drop you 100 Zenkai Awakening power onto your unit every single day. Awesome. So let's say that you are just going to do that every day and nothing else. How many days would that take you to actually hit the amount required to get yourself to Zenkai 7? Well, that would take you 70 days. If my math is correct, since you got to do it 10 times for one Zenkai level, but there are only 7 Zenkai levels, that would lead me to assume that, 10 times 7 is 70, so it would take you 70 days. Obviously, this is not the case because also you can do this event, and this event, the first time reward will be an extra 500, which will automatically shave off 500 Zenkai Awakening power from your days, or in this case, 5 days. Now, obviously, after you do this once, you can't do this again, so it's actually really going to be more like 65-ish days to get him all the way to Zenkai 7. Now, the question is, should you wait that long? And the answer is honestly yes. And the reason for it is because you're in no rush to grab these Chrono Crystals. It's not going away, at least not for the foreseeable future, and most of these events tend to just stay forever. The only event that's ever in the history of these type of events that has gone after a certain amount of days was the Semi-Perfect Cell event, where he was there and then they decided to remove him. There was probably an end date in the news, so if there's an end date for this in the news, then in that case, what I would suggest in that case is if you have your energy. So as you can see the energy at the top, let me just bring my mouse over. So as you can see, I have energy right here. I have 1.783 out of 9999. Now, if these were lit up fully blue, what you could do is you could take your 10 energy, take 10 skip tickets, right? And then skip 10 just by going like this, and then pressing the yes button right over here. Obviously, I'm not going to do that, so we're just not going to do that. But if you were to do that every single time your energy refreshed, you would get a certain amount of Zenkai Awakening power per time you did that. And that could speed up the process, so it might take you only like 50-ish days. I'm not sure. I might be overestimating or underestimating. I didn't do the math on that. But what I do know is that so far, this is the best way to Zenkai Awaken. There's no better way. Otherwise, you just spend energy to do it. And personally, I don't see the point, considering he as a unit, even in his Zenkai form, isn't super impressive. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's not very impressive and it's not very necessary. So with that being said, let's actually go into his Zenkai stats as well as his kit, so we can just review that and see how good it actually is. So with that being said, I'll see you right there. All right, so we're here. This is Gohan Extreme. This is when he's at 14 stars, as you guys can see right there. And you can also see that this is assuming that his Zenkai Awakening power is 7,000 out of 7,000, meaning that he is Zenkai 7. So now let's take a look and see how his stats are, and to give you guys a good idea of what we're dealing with here. All right, so right off the bat, his health is okay. It's not bad. It's not horrible at all. But then we take a look at the strike attack and blast attack. That's what I'm really focused on, as well as the strike defense and blast defense, more so than anything else. And the reason for it is I like to use a comparison to kind of get an idea of what we're dealing with. So in terms of strike and blast attack values, this is similar and akin to Fusion Zamasu, so the purple 2nd anniversary unit. Now, his blast attack is, I believe, actually higher than Zamasu's by about 4-ish thousand. So that's pretty cool, but the fact that this guy is a Zenkai and is similar to that of a 14-star Fusion Zamasu, while he is also at 14 stars, has me a little bit worried about this guy's relevancy. And I'm going to be quite honest with you and blunt with you. Is he relevant in PvP? Not really. However, you can definitely make some fun teams with him, and he's pretty cool at that. What's nice about him, and it is nice that this is there, his defenses are, at least on paper, better than Fusion Zamasu. So that's pretty cool. I like that. That's solid. At least from what I remember, it is better than Fusion Zamasu's defense. Fusion Zamasu's defense isn't very good, especially if your opponent is setting up properly against you. Then in that case, Fusion Zamasu just gets cucked. So it feels sad, but it is what it is. But Fusion Zamasu by no means is a bad unit, and definitely a much more relevant unit than this unit. So there's also that. Let's go over the arts card. The only thing you really need to know is, and this has already been a thing, but he does restore his health by 10%, and he restores ki. I don't know if they buffed the ki restoration. If they didn't, then whatever. I know that they worked on the arts costs, so that's pretty cool. So there you go. And then let's talk about his abilities, because I think that's what matters most. We got Towards a Peaceful Future, so we get a health increase and a damage increase. Pretty cool. Love it. Then we got your Z ability, which is going to be the same no matter if he's Zenkai or not at 14 stars. He's got plus 23% to strike and blast defense during battage. Okay. Okay. It's okay. If you want extra defense, he's your boy. But there are so many better future units that it's not really worth actually putting him on your team. So unless you're doing some sort of like meme team, then in that case, yeah, go for it. And then again, well, this Zenkai ability, it's not going to really be used because you will not be able to fulfill this very often. You might be able to do that in, let's say, like a PvE event, or maybe even in like some sort of co-op event. So he could be a great co-op buffer, but in PvP specifically, this is just not going to be very relevant. So there you go. It's just unfortunate because it would be nice to take advantage of this, but once again, the only one that's taking advantage of this realistically will be the unit himself. So there you go. He'll be buffing himself, and that's about it. All right, let's talk about his first two abilities, because there are differences, and they did buff the first two abilities, and then obviously they gave two new abilities, so that's cool too. Let's talk about that. So no holding back. So first things first, he gains damage. He also gains damage reduction, so that's pretty cool. He also has the additional plus 40% when a character that is Trunks is a battle member, so that's awesome. So what is the new thing? Well, it's actually the 20% to damage, as well as the reduction of damage. Those are the two new skills. Originally, it was just the 40% as long as you have Trunks as a battle member. So the fact that they've added some extra things is very nice. Can't say I hate it. It's good stuff. Then we got the cover sustained damage cut. And believe it or not, there's only one change, and the change is kind of minuscule to the point where even though it could be relevant, is just... It feels like they should have just not have made this. So originally it read 40% when you cover change, but then it also said +3 to own substitution count, which means that it would take 13 seconds for him to come back in. Now it only takes 12 seconds to come back in. And I mean, I get it, but I also think that, you know, if you really want to put some utility into this unit, just cut the entire thing where it says +2 or +1 or +3. Just make it nothing. Just say reduces damage received by 40% until combo ends when changing cover. If you had done that, I would have been like, okay, so you trade off, so you really start creating some sort of defensive team, and you are really trading off maybe an optimal unit for something that is a little bit more tanky. Cool, and that's a little bit more usable. Cool. I'm not saying that would be game-breaking. In fact, that would not even then. But what I am saying is that would have been a much cooler skill to apply to this unit. Sometimes less is more. And in this case, more is less. So, I mean, it just feels very irrelevant to do that, especially since we know we're not bringing this unit in. But this would have been nice had it been different. So there is that. Let's go over the two new skills, because there's also that. So Unfaltering Willpower, very simple. Increases arts card draw speed by 1 level for 10 timer counts, as well as 40% to own key recovery for 20 timer counts. Cool. What can I say about this other than the fact that the arts card draw speed, because it's only applied after the enemy attack is over, it means that you guys are now reset back to neutral, and unless you have some way to confirm an instant attack on your opponent, which is very unlikely, you're not going to be getting the full benefits of the 10 timer counts for that increased card draw speed, which means that you will not be doing extended combos with this unit. That is the unfortunate reality. And that makes me wonder why they didn't at least put it at 15 timer counts. They had done 15, you would have had an actual kit to use here. In this case, I feel like it would run out before you really get to do more than maybe like 5 or 6 card arts if you're lucky. So yeah, that's unfortunate. And that's not to include like if they have coverage, if your opponent has cover change units or whatever. Okay. But the 40% to own key recovery, that's awesome. It's nice key control. I like that. See, again, I feel like they were really trying to balance this unit. They really didn't have to, just because he's already an EX unit. And on top of that, his first 2 skills aren't anything like amazing. They're not bad, but they're not amazing. So you could have at least given us like 15 timer counts on the card draw speed. That's like that could have been the minimum, the bare minimum here. Especially since it only procs if you have been getting hit. And once you're done getting hit. So, yeah. And then finally, we got Valiant Fighter. So, like I said, less is more sometimes. In this case, that is true. So, we've got when he just enters the battlefield, restore key. We like that. That's always nice. It's always welcomed. And then on top of that, you get plus 45% to damage inflicted for 25 timer counts. What can I say? If you pair that up with the no holding back, you're looking at different percentages being applied at different intervals, but at the same time, and it's overall his base stats, including equipment and stuff, so that's really cool. So as a result, he'll actually be doing some decent damage. Obviously, his blast damage is going to be where it's at, but it still means that you could still do some effective damage with his strike, so that's cool too. Overall, there are just better green units. There's Green Goku Black. You could use the Legends Limited Vegeta, even though I don't recommend it. I mean, in case you don't have those, and I can't think of any other future units, it's like my mind broke. But, I mean, he's always there. You could use him. I just feel like, if anything, he's more or less just a substitute and nothing more. But, you know, it is what it is. It's a free event. Farm for the 1,000 Chrono Crystals. It is free. Do the slow grind, because honestly, it's not worth spending so much energy just to get all those CCs as fast as possible. Anniversary is still a little bit ways away, so you still have time, and it's not like you can't speed through it later if you really need to. So the best effective method to farm for this is really just to take your time and to slow grind it, because that energy resource is going to be very, very valuable, especially once the Gokus come around, as well as when Anniversary comes around, and hopefully they'll be dropping some extra events for us to do. So, you know, there's that too. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't hesitate to tickle the like button if you haven't already, subscribe, and click at the bell for more notificaciones so you never miss another one of my videos. Have yourselves a salty day, and I will see you in the next video. Mana mana, dun dun dun, ba da ba blah blah, Saitama!